Erica Stratton. I'm a second-year undergraduate in the planning department with a minor in environmental science.
Hi, I'm Natalie Roper. I'm a third-year American politics major. I'll be attending Baton in the fall. Very excited.
Our faculty advisor is Suzanne Muma from the planning department, and our community partner was Market Central. Our other group member, Anna Chastanay, as well as our graduate student advisor, Carla Jones, are both in LA at the moment presenting our project at the American Planning Association's conference, so they're unable to be here today. Okay, so we are the Have a Stake in the Market team. All of our group members kind of come from very unique and vast backgrounds. So Anne and I coming from planning backgrounds, Natalie from an American politics background, and Carla kind of from a public health background, but we all came together based on our common love for the Charlottesville City Market. And we had each, attended the market several times individually and realized how lively and bustling it was, but we all kind of came up with this common question of who wasn't at the market.
And being the passionate students that we are, we were convinced that we could just fix all of these problems that we saw in the market. We were concerned about these concerns of access. We thought that many communities were underrepresented and that it wasn't truly representative of our community. And we were eager to jump in and fix it and make everything right. And we're convinced that we could be this guy right here.
So from the beginning with our project, we really wanted to, dot all our I's and cross all our T's when it came to working with the community. So we sat down, we identified different groups and members from the community that we thought to be potential stakeholders, people that might have interests in what we were looking at. So we formulated this email kind of introducing who we were, what our project was, and what we hoped to do, and sent it out to all these stakeholders. And we're expecting nothing but kind of enthusiasm and support for what we were hoping to do, because who would be against such a thing? But it wasn't until we got a little bit of negative feedback that we kind of changed our view on that. And we received an email that kind of questioned our motives for our project, what we hope to do, and it made us realize that UVA student research doesn't hold a positive outlook in the eyes of every community member.
As you might guess, such a response was pretty disheartening. We were really taken aback, and but we really took this email to heart and took a big step back, rewind, hang on, let's rethink this. Really looked at that email and thought, what, this was critical, but it's not all wrong. We are making a lot of assumptions here. We are assuming that this is an issue. We are assuming that access is a concern that the community shares. So we took a big step back and realized that we can't even begin to assess who isn't coming to the market if we don't even have any data on who is.
So after attending multiple market task force meetings along with our community partner, Market Central, we started to focus on the issue of if and where the market would be relocated in the future. So we kind of asked ourselves, what can we do to help this group move forward and to help shape the future of the market? So we decided to look at who was coming to the market, their preferences, who the current customer were.
And in lieu of all of these conversations and this new focus, we decided to conduct a survey about who is coming to the market. And we started having conversations with community partners, and we've learned our lesson. We were going to try and do this right and actually have conversations with people as opposed to sending an email. So we started with Charlottesville Parks and Recreation, who owns the market. It's a city-run market. We also many times had conversations with our community partner, Market Central, who's a Friends of the Market nonprofit group, who started this conversation in the community about where a permanent location would be. We also had a lot of conversations with the Jefferson Area Board on Aging, and they're the organization that runs the SNAP program at the farmers market, and SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, what was formerly known as food stamps. We worked a lot with the University Center for Survey Research, who helped us finalize a methodology that would be statistically legitimate. as well as working with a newly formed group called the UVA Market Research Group, including members of the community that are interested in the farmers market, but also faculty. So we worked with Paul Friedman a lot and Jeffrey Plank, and they helped us a lot with making sure our questions were worded in a way that was appropriate. Lastly, we talked with Stacey Miller at the Farmers Market Coalition, trying to put this study on a national scale and understanding farmers market trends nationally, and how did Charlottesville fit in that.
So through all our meetings with these community members, we came up with the goal of, wanting to do our survey once and doing it right. It became clear, a lot of times when student research is conducted in the community, it's done on a semester timeline, so a lot of times it's unable to be comprehensive, it ends up getting repeated, and a lot of different groups get studied over and over again, and it's understandable how that can be frustrating for community members. So we really wanted to make our survey right the first time. It ended up being comprised of 34 questions, which we shaped from meetings with all our community members based off what information they wanted to glean from our research. We researched for 7 weeks, with the first week being a pilot, and we were at the market, from 7 a.m. to noon every Saturday. Ended up collecting over 264 responses. Additionally, we had a kind of incentive for people to take our survey, which was rather long, which included doing a raffle each week for a $20 gift certificate to the market. So needless to say, it was a long process, but it was worth it.
And our results certainly aren't shocking. I think a lot of the community, and even certainly nationally, a lot of people have an idea of who they think goes to farmers markets. However, as we had learned, having statistically hard data was really important, and it was no longer an assumption, but we had put some of these things into facts, and that was really satisfying.
So when a lot of people think about farmers markets, they look at them as a place, to buy locally produced produce, food, crafts, but we kind of, from our survey, gathered that the Charlottesville City Market serves another purpose, and that's that of a community and social space. So our findings showed us that, people are going to the market in groups. They're coming with their family, their friends, their coworkers. Additionally, when they get to the market, they're staying there. They're not just going and buying their food and leaving, but they're staying for 30 minutes to an hour mostly. They're interacting with vendors, making new acquaintances, interacting with the people they already came from, and that's just something that really adds to the vibrancy and livelihood of the city market, and something that we really wanted to help keep consistent no matter what the future decisions made on the market ended up being.
Another important role of farmers markets is their economic impact on the local community. And 30% of our respondents said that they spend between $21 and $30 at the market each week. And this number is really exciting when you compare this with our customer counts, and where we found that over 5,000 people are coming to this market every week. And as you can see, that's a pretty huge economic impact for the farmers and sustaining their livelihood, but also on keeping some of these food dollars in Virginia. However, while all these things are really exciting, we found out there are some things that the Charlottesville City Market can improve upon. A lot of conversations we have with community members and our survey also show that there's a discrepancy between an average Charlottesville resident and the city market average customer. And certainly, over and over, we heard, how can we decrease this discrepancy and make this market truly representative of our community? Along the same lines, only 3 people that responded to our survey were taking advantage of the SNAP program, showing a lot of room for improvement, seeing as Charlottesville is not a solely wealthy community, and there are community members that are not being represented. And over and over we heard, how can we start to fix this?
So after gaining all of our data and information, we began to publicize what we found. So we held 1 vendor and 2 general listening sessions in order to both get our information out there as well as to gain more insight from the community as a whole.
After having this pile of data from having conversations in the creation of the survey, the data from the actual survey itself, and then the conversations ensuing after that in response to this data, we felt prepared to inform the city of what we had found. We presented to City Council in November, and we've been really excited to hear that already these results are being used to inform decisions for the current market season that started just last week, but also for these larger decisions of where this market will be and what should we prioritize.
So after the end of collecting all this data, presenting it to the community, we really realized that our project doesn't just represent us anymore, but the whole Charlottesville community, the UVA groups that helped to shape us or helped shape our project and make it what it was.
And now we've taken all these things into account and are hopefully going to continue these things. But in our continuation of our project, we now feel prepared and empowered as students to appropriately facilitate discussions in the community around access and come up with solutions together that are truly community-driven.